Welcome. I'm glad to see you. So now I see that you've been our client in our agency uh, for a long time already, right? Or
Yes, I was. I think I became a member in May or June or something like that.
okay. Oh yeah, you paid one time.
Yes, because I got a lot of a lot of hits and I got a lot of messages. So I mean, I picked out two girls that I liked, and I continued to talk to them, and then there was no reason to talk to anybody else because one of the girls that I really liked, so I decided just to continue with her and to see if we could work something out.
From the sky when it's all said and done. Would you follow me down? Would you follow me down? Would you follow me down?
Yeah, I can see it was in May 2023.
Yes.
Ah, okay. So you just pick up two girls, right? Oh, so first, could you introduce yourself, your age, where you live, your job?
Yes, my name is Thomas. I'm from Denmark.
Denmark.
I'm 51 years old, and I work as an insurance broker. My clients are mainly in Asia, but I'm semi-retired right now because I don't need to make money anymore. I have a big portfolio, and it's giving me the money that I need right now. So right now I don't have an active internet page anymore. I'm just selling insurances over recommendations, and that's sufficient for me. I have an age now where I want to work less, and when you are an independent insurance broker, you have it's a lot of work if you want to develop your business all the time. So actually, I'm pretty happy the way it is now. So I'm stepping down and I'm just enjoying life now. And I'm semi-retired as 51 years old, and I think that is great. And that's also the reason why that I thought that I would be ready to meet someone because I was divorced 10 years ago, and I was actually happy to be single because my work was taking all my time and I was traveling all the time. So I thought that it was a good time to meet someone. So, and I had tried different dating sites, and most of them were scams. You had to pay to talk to the girl and to the girls, and it was pretty obvious that they were paid just to talk to you. So after a while, I decided that it was not worth the money, and I found your website.
And why do you want to meet Ukrainian women?
Actually, I wanted to meet Ukrainian women because I like the Slavic look very much. And I also like the thought that they were a little bit more traditional than the West European women. It's not like I cannot find anyone in Denmark, but Danish women, they want to be very powerful and they want to struggle in the house all the time to they want to be the boss of the house. So there's always a lot of fighting, and I didn't want that. I just wanted a relationship without a lot of drama, and I knew that the girls from Ukraine were more traditional. So I thought that I would give it a shot. But the reason why I chose the Ukrainian girls was, to be honest, it was because I think they're very beautiful, and I actually didn't know any. So it was something that I wanted to try.
Ah, okay. Okay, so you have never been in relation with Ukrainian women before.
No, I have never been in a relationship with a girl from the Eastern Europe before, so I didn't know anything about them. I just knew that they were good looking, and I read something about them, and I saw that they were a little bit more traditional, and it was something I liked. It was not like I was looking for someone who I wanted to clean my house or to make food for me or something like that. I just wanted
Mhm.
a more harmonic relationship, and I hope that meeting a girl from another country would be a good idea.
Okay. So you picked up two girls. You said on the site. What were the age of the ladies? What were the? So
The,
you discussed only with two girls, right?
yes, the first girl was 40 years old, and I was only talking to her very briefly because she actually told me from the beginning that her mental health was not very good, and she was very because of the war in Ukraine, she really needed shelter, and she actually asked me right away if she could come to my house, not for a relationship, but just to get to another country, and so she didn't have to go to a refugee camp or something like that. So she actually came to my house after 2 weeks. I think I picked her up in Poland, and I took her back to my house.
Ah, okay.
And she lived in my house for 6 months while I was speaking with the other girl. But both girls knew that I was speaking with them. The second girl that I haven't talked about yet, she knew that Anna, the girl in my house, was called Anna. She knew that she was in my house, and we were not having a romantic relationship. That she was only going to stay in my house until she found something else. And now she has her own place in Denmark, and we are still good friends. But nothing is ever going to happen between us because she has a lot of issues with her after the war with PTSD and stuff like that, and it's she's not ready for anything. And I mean, to say we don't have this kind of connection. We are just good friends.
Ah, okay. Oh, so that's very generous of you. So now she lives in Denmark.
Yes, I was already doing a lot to help Ukraine because I used to be a soldier. I was in Bosnia in 1995 at war, so I would knew what war was like, and I've been under artillery myself, so I can imagine how it's like to be in Kiev or Dnipro or wherever you live on Kharkiv, and of course I understand that it's a very difficult situation, and I was helping a lot with sending military equipment to Ukraine in the beginning. So I got a lot of connections very early and got to know a lot of Ukrainians, but mainly men because it was, of course, I was helping in the military, and I also made some donations to the military and help with some refugees with clothes and stuff like that who came to Denmark. So I've always been very interested in helping people who have been suffering from war because I've been at war myself and I've seen how much people are suffering. So it's actually something I feel obligated to do as a European. I think we have and we are obligated to help Ukraine. They are Europeans as well, and I think it's our duty to do what we can to help them win the war and to make sure that the refugees are treated well.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. So so there was Anna. Anna is the girl that was living with you
Yes,
at your place, but
yes,
you didn't have a relationship with her. And
no.
there was another girl with whom you had a relationship, right? So
Yes, I mean, we didn't actually have a relationship. I mean, we had a relationship, an internet relationship, but I never met her. I just we were speaking to each other, and I really, really liked her. I mean, she was a very nice girl. I thought she was a nice girl. She was 35 years old, and she was very beautiful, and she had a daughter, and she didn't want more children. That was very good for me because I have my own son already, and I don't need more on my age. And she was also interested in coming to Denmark, and she was living in Dnipro, and in the beginning, actually, we were just talking. We didn't discuss going to Denmark, but when our relationship developed, or so I thought, then she became more interested in coming to my house and see if we could how it would be when we were living together, or it was actually the
so
only. Yeah.
she is 35 or 45?
35.
35. Ah, okay. And she has no kids?
Yes, she has a daughter. She has a daughter who's 15 years old.
Ah, 15 years old. Okay.
I was
And
living
she,
with her, so she was coming as well.
ah, okay. So 35 with a daughter, and she lived in Dnipro?
Yes,
Ah, okay. And what was her name?
her name was Alexandra.
Alexandra. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so how long have you been discussing with her?
We were actually talking for 8 months. I
Eight
met,
months?
yes, I met her right away in May, and we started talking right away, and we were actually talking every day. I mean, we were only texting because she only spoke Russian. But because I already met Anna, then I was quite sure that it was a real girl, and she also sent me a lot of photos that you won't find on Instagram. It was not like nude photos; it was just photos that you normally won't post on an Instagram. So I was pretty sure that it was her, and she was taking daily photos of dogs that looked like mine, and so I was pretty sure that it was the right person, and she was actually the person who was on the picture, and it was her name and her date of birth, and so I was confident that we had a real relationship.
But you never actually met each other in real.
No, we were supposed to meet each other in Poland in August. I said to her that I would buy her a ticket to Poland because I said to her that I could come to Dnipro, but she said that she thought it was too dangerous and she would prefer to meet in Poland instead. And I thought that was great because then I didn't have to take the bus from Warsaw to Kiev. It's a very long drive, so it was great for me that I could just take an airplane and we could meet up in Warsaw on Krakow or something like that, and then we can have a cup of coffee and maybe go out for dinner and see if we were a match.
Okay, so did you actually meet in Poland or never happened?
No, we never met because in the end of July, she suddenly wrote to me that she lost her job. She had I don't know what kind of job she was doing. She was having some psychologist session on Instagram, but she didn't have a license, and she couldn't live off that. So I think she was working in some kind of store or something like that. And in the end of July, her boss sold the business, or he couldn't keep the shop anymore. I don't remember exactly what happened, but from that point, she said to me that she couldn't find another job because all the refugees got the jobs in Dnipro, all the refugees from Bakhmut, because they got some kind of help from the state or something like that. So all the employees wanted to hire refugees instead. So she said that she wanted to come to Denmark because she didn't have any future anymore in Dnipro, and she couldn't pay her rent, and she didn't have money for food. So of course, I wanted to help her, but the problem was in the beginning that she didn't have a passport, and because Ukraine is at war, she said to me that it was going to take a while to get the passport, and if I could help her in the meantime. And I was already developing feelings for her at that point, and I thought, okay, yes, of course I can help you with the rent and food and stuff like that because. If you're going to my house anyway, and then of course it's because I'm planning a future with you. So I agreed to do that.
Okay, so she decided she couldn't travel to Poland because she had lost her job.
Yes, more no. It was more like she said that she lost her job and she didn't want to stay in Ukraine anymore. So she wanted to come directly to Denmark instead of going to Poland first. If she was going to Poland, she needed a passport anyway. So she had to get a passport first, and then she said that she wanted to come directly to Denmark because even though we didn't actually get a relationship, she wanted to flee anyway because she couldn't afford to stay in Ukraine. She didn't have any possibilities to create an income for herself and her daughter.
Okay. Okay, so you invited her to come to Denmark,
Yes.
but she never came.
No, she never came because in the following months we were waiting for the passport, and there was one accident after the other. Then she got a cold in her kidneys, and she went to hospital, and she was staying there for a long time. And I had to pay for medicine and for ultrasounds, and there was a lot of problems all the time. And we had to wait for her daughter's passport and her passport, and it didn't arrive, and the months were just passing by, and I was paying one rent after another, and I was also paying for food, and I was paying for medicine. I was paying for her daughter's birthday and her own birthday, and a lot of stuff. And when you're just paying a little bit at the time, then you don't actually think about how much you're sending. So in the end, I was actually sending a lot of money, because
How much money did you send in total?
in total I've sent her about 6,000 US dollars.
6,000 US dollar?
Yes, I've sent her in more or less in total, maybe a little bit more. I don't actually remember, because I also sent her an iPhone, because her iPhone also broke down. So, and I didn't calculate for that, and I've also sent her other things. So I don't know exactly how much I have sent her, but a lot more than I should.
Oh, okay.
So, and what happened was that in December, when she was finished with her hospital treatment, she said to me that it was she already had her daughter's passport, and she said that the only thing she needed now was her own passport, and she wanted to pick it up in Kiev. So she said that she was going to leave for Kiev with her daughter, and give up her apartment. It was just a rental apartment, and she said she had a lot of problems with her landlord. So she wanted to go to Kiev and live with her friend's house until she got her own passport. And then when she got her own passport, she could go to Denmark right away, because there are buses every day from Kiev to Denmark. So I thought it was a good idea.
Ah, okay. And so at at uh, at which point did you realize that it was all a scam?
I realized it because when she moved to Kiev, she didn't ask me for rent, of course, because she was staying at her friend's house. But I still paid the food, and I still paid for other things. And suddenly, when she was going to pick up her passport, she suddenly said that she had a warrant for her arrest, because she
She
had
had what?
she had a warrant for her arrest,
A warrant
a warrant for her arrest, to be arrested by the police.
to be arrested?
Yes, because she said that she had some unpaid debts that she didn't know about, and her bank sued her. So now she had a travel ban on her passport. So before she paid her debt, she was not able to leave Ukraine. And I don't know anything about the rules in Ukraine, but I've heard about these fly bans before. So actually, I believe that I don't know if I totally believe the story, but I had already spent so money on getting her to Denmark, so I thought, okay, that let's see what's going to happen. So I said, okay, how much do you owe to the bank, and how did you get that debt? And she said that she had a boyfriend she was living with 4 years ago, and they created a loan together. And when they split up, she paid her boyfriend half of the loan, and she thought that now the loan was paid. And then he departed to Israel. I don't know where it was from, but it was from another country. And she said that he never paid the debt, and now she had to pay 1,300 US dollars to close the issue. And it was actually some kind of deal she made with the bank, because her actual debt was 2,800. So if I paid 1,300 within a couple of days, then she would be able to leave. So I did that.
Oh, you paid?
Yes, I paid the first $100, and then after a few days, then she was devastated again and crying and saying, "Oh, the judge, he didn't accept the deal. Now I have to pay the full amount." And I was like, "Okay, now I'm getting tired of all these expenses." But I started to be quite suspicious. But as I told you before, when you're already getting into this trap, and you already started paying money, and you have developed feelings for this person, then you're like, okay, do I want to risk everything just because she has a remaining debt of 1,500 US dollars? And I was like, no, I'm going to take the chance, and I'm going to pay this final money. And if another problem occurs, then I'm not going to pay anything else. And I actually told her that. And when I paid the last amount, the last 1,500, then she suddenly disappeared. And I was like, okay, now something is really wrong. So I called the Western Union because I have sent all the money via Western Union to for her to pick her up in person, to be sure that it was her. So I called Western Union and I asked them where she picked up the money, and they said that she was picking all the money I was sending her all along in Dnipro. And Dnipro is not very close to Kiev, so I knew for sure that she never lived for Kiev. And then of course I knew that she was scamming me, and everything that she told me was a lie from the beginning.
And you told me that you hired a private detective?
Yes, I had a private detective because when after she disappeared for 1 week. First of all, of course, I knew that she was scamming me, but I wanted to get an explanation from her, and I just didn't want to accept that she just stopped talking to me. So I was like, okay, now I'm really going to find out who this girl is. So I hired a private detective, and after 48 hours, he found her. It was pretty easy to find her, and she had been lying all the time. I mean, she didn't have a job. I was probably her job, but she had her own apartment, and she didn't have any debt in her apartment. So the all the stories about her rental apartment, and I mean, she was really talking a lot about her landlord, that she was really a pain, and she was harassing her every day. And she was taking pictures of a sofa that her landlord wanted her to pay, and all kind of stuff. So I was really sure that she was living in this rental apartment. And she also sent me pictures, and it looked awful, the apartment. So I was like, okay, she's really a girl in need. And I fell for everything. I was so stupid, but I mean, I'm just a good-hearted guy, and sometimes I'm just a little bit naive, I think.
And how did you find this private detective?
I found it on the internet because I was like, I have to find a local guy, a guy that can find people in Ukraine. So I went on the internet and I find a private detective with very good recommendations. And I contacted him and I said, "Look, you have to help me finding this girl because I it's not. I know I may not get my money back, but I want I don't want her to do this to anybody else because after she scammed me, I just started looking on YouTube, and I could see that there's a lot of cases and people are selling their houses, they are selling their cars to help these girls. And it's like, I mean, it's terrible. I don't have any words for it. I don't understand what these girls
So,
are thinking about.
so you found this detective on the internet, and how much did he charge you for the job?
I think I paid 200 euros for the investigation to find out who she was, where she was living, what her parents' names, her friends, and he found out everything, her tax number, and he did a very very professional job.
And now with this information, you want to sue her?
Yes, I have made an I have the private detective has actually helped me to find a lawyer in Dnipro because I don't speak any Russian or Ukrainian, so it would be pretty difficult for myself to prosecute her. Also because I don't know the local laws in Ukraine, so I asked him to help, and he agreed to help me. So he's helping me right now to prosecute her. I just have to I have to find a lot of evidence. We have sent thousands of messages to each other, and I have to find all the messages that is going to incriminate her because of course, she hasn't. She has been clever in some ways. She has tried to raise some of her tracks, or she has tried to make it sound like she didn't ask me for money. But it's like when you tell someone, "Oh, I have cancer, but you don't have to help me. But if you don't, then I'm going to die." It's the same kind of argumentation that she didn't directly ask me for money, but if I didn't help her, then I knew that she was going to live on the streets with her daughter, and I didn't want that. So that was actually the way it was working. She asked me a few times for directly for money, but most of the times she was just saying like, "Oh, now I have this problem, and if nobody helps me, then I'm going to live on the streets with my daughter, and it's so dangerous here in Dnipro, and so."
And the private detective, he thinks that you can have a chance to sue her and to win a trial in Dnipro?
Yes, I know for sure that I can win the trial. And I also know that she's going to get prosecuted. She already got prosecuted by the lawyer. The only thing that I don't know is, of course, I don't know if she will be able to pay me the fixed $6,000 dollars back because I don't think she has $6,000 dollars. So it's actually a more a matter of principle than a question of getting my money back because I'm paying a lot of money right now for the lawyer and for the private detective. So I know that it's going to cost me more to prosecute her than the money I'm ever going to get back. But I just don't want to accept this situation, and I don't want her to scam anyone else because maybe I only lost $6,000 dollars, and it's not going to ruin my economy. I mean, it's not like I'm going to. I didn't get broke or anything, but as I told you, there are other people that are selling their cars and their houses to help these girls, and I don't want it to help to something similar to help to happen to another person. So that's actually the main reason why I've decided to charge her because in the beginning I was like, okay, I can afford to lose $6,000 dollars. I knew that I took a risk, but when I thought about it, I thought I don't want it to help to happen to anybody else. So that's the reason why I decided to take action.
Wow. And you said that for the prosecution, you will have to pay another 6,000 euro for
No, no, no,
the.
no, no, no. No. It's only going to cost me €1,000 to prosecute her. It's not that. I'm just saying that it's. I don't think I'm going to get anything from her. So all the money that I'm paying now for the private investigator and for the lawyer, I don't think I'm going to get that money back. But it's more a matter of principles now.
And are you sure that there is a prosecution with a lawyer, or is it another scam
No,
that
I
someone
know for I know
makes
for sure. No, I know for sure that it's not another scam. I
because you
know
have
that.
papers,
Yes,
official
I have
papers?
papers. I've seen papers. I know that she's being prosecuted. So I know that it's not another scam. And I also know the private detective because I didn't tell you that from the beginning. But I was it was he was preferred to me from another person who already used him. So I was sure that it was a real thing. And of course, I've already seen the papers that they have sent to the girl, and I know for sure that it's that she's going to not I'm not sure she's going to get convicted, but I'm sure that she's going to get prosecuted.
Oh, okay. And since then, you have no contact with her at all?
Yes, yeah. When she got prosecuted from the lawyer, she actually wrote to me and she said that it was how I could offend or prosecute a weak girl, and everything she told me was true, and all these kind of things. And I just wrote to her, listen, I know that you have been scamming me. I know you never went to Kiev, and I know you never had any intentions to go to Denmark. And but she didn't want to admit that. She's still saying that she loved me, and it was only because she because when I could didn't hear from her for a week, I of course I got angry with her, and she said that she couldn't tolerate that I got angry with her, and that's the reason why she decided to end the relationship. She said that the reason why I didn't hear from her for a week was because her friend's apartment in Kiev was blown up by a missile, and of course I don't believe any of that. And she said that
Mhm.
she went to the hospital for 1 week, and she was still wounded, but now she wanted to come to Denmark, and she sent me a picture that was supposed to be from the train when she was going to travel for the border, and I could see that it wasn't a photo from the train, and I could also see that when she sent me a photo from the border, when she crossed the border, I could see that it was something she found on the internet. So at this point, I already knew she was scamming me. So I was not being very polite, and she used that as an excuse to break off with me. But I didn't care, of course, because I knew that she was a liar, and I didn't want anything to do with her or have her in my house, even though if she decided to change her mind and say, okay, I'm going to your house anyway, I would never ever accept her in my house.
Okay. Okay, so now it's over, but um, this lady, Alexandra,
Yes.
so she's 35 years old and you are 51?
Yes, I'm 51. Yes.
So the age difference at the beginning, it didn't bother you? 16
No, I
years?
have had other girlfriends who were between 35 and 40, and it's not the first time I have a girlfriend that is younger than me. It's not like I'm specifically looking for girls that are much younger than me, but it's I don't know. It's I thought we had a good connection, and we had a good chemistry. So I didn't think much about she was only 35. I mean, if she was 45 or she was 40, it would have been the same. I contacted her because I looked at her profile and I liked her pictures and I liked the things she was writing. So that was actually the main reason I contacted her. The only thing I have when I contact a girl who's 35 or less than 40 years old is, of course, that I'm interested in knowing if they want to have children, because I don't want more children myself, and I'm sterilized, so I cannot have any children anymore. So it's a very important to me, but it doesn't really matter to me if the person is 35 or 40 or 45. But I'm not going to meet anyone who's under 35 or under 30 years old. I mean, it's a minimum age is about 35, I think.
And did you have some video Skype meeting, visual? Like, did you see each other in
No, because she only spoke Russian, so there was no. I thought it didn't make any sense to have a video call with her. Um, but of course, I should have done it. That I know it wouldn't have made a difference, because the real girl. I mean, it was the girl on the pictures, and it was the right name, and the name of her daughter was also correct, and the date of birth was correct. The only thing that wasn't correct was that she said that she was living in a rental apartment and that she lost her job and she got hospitalized and all these scans with her debt and all these kind of things. But it was a real name, and she was living Dnipro, and it was also the right age. So that was not a big issue. But in the future, if I'm going to meet someone else, then of course I'm going to ask for a video call, and it's also the last time I'm going to communicate with someone who doesn't speak English at all, or another language that I can understand, because it makes sense to. I mean, you don't get to know a person just by texting each other. You have to at least to FaceTime, or or even better to meet in person. But at this moment in Ukraine, it's a little bit complicated to meet in person because of the war, and you can't fly there. You have to take a bus or the train, and even if you go there, it's not completely safe, and you cannot take out of travel insurance, because no one is going to cover you in a war zone. So
Okay, so 8 months and not even one video call in 8 months.
no.
That's amazing. And except from her pictures, because she's a kind of model-like girl, like she's like a top model. She's very sexy. But except from her picture, was there anything else, any other reason why you picked her up, or it was just the physical aspect, just the external beauty?
It was it's a I don't know how to say this, because when you're going through your agency, there are so many beautiful girls. I mean, I could have found at least 100 girls that I would have found very, very beautiful, and there was even more beautiful than her. I could easily find someone who was more beautiful. I I don't know exactly what is attracted me, but she just had a face that was appealing to me. It wasn't because she was very beautiful. Anna is also a very beautiful girl, and I've also seen a lot of other girls that are even better looking. And if she wasn't exactly my type, normally I like blonde girls, and she had dark hair, so she wasn't exactly my type. I don't know exactly what attracted me. It was because I was pressing the button where you can ask for contact details. And right from the beginning, when we started talking, I thought she was interesting. She was writing some interesting things, and then I decided not to look for any other girls.
Ah, okay. So Alexandra, I don't remember what she looks like. She's
She's
blonde?
she's 150, and she has dark long hair with green eyes, and she has some very beautiful lips, some very big lips, beautiful lips. She's a beautiful girl.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we deleted her from the site after your oh yeah, Alexandra.
Yes, I hope she
Yes.
didn't
Yeah,
speak to other guys from your agency because they are being scammed right now. Then.
yeah. Yeah, that's terrible. That's
Because
terrible.
when she's going to get prosecuted by the lawyer now, then of course she's going to try to find the money in another way. So I'm quite sure that if she's talking to other men right now, she's doing everything she can to complain about now she has been sued by someone and it's not her fault, and she need I don't know how much money she's going to ask for, but she's going to try everything she can to cover her losses. So she don't doesn't get a criminal record, and she can keep what she's doing right now. Because I think if she's getting a criminal record, I think it's going to be very difficult for her to get a visa in Europe in the future. So it's going to be a problem for her if she's going to get convicted. So I think right now she is she's looking for men, all the men she can, and she is going to do everything she can to milk them dry for money. So I'm really worried about the other men she's talking to right now because they are going to pay a lot of money to her if they are as stupid as me.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I hope you had your lesson for the future.
I had my lesson, and I can assure you it's the last time I'm going to send the money to a girl that I've never met and never been that I've never met in person, because it's just so stupid. And I think that other people should know, be people that are going to talk to these girls, they have to look for the red flags. I mean, if you can feel that something is wrong, then it's probably something is wrong. When you get a little bit, not in love with the girl maybe, but in love with the fantasy of this girl, then it's very easy to believe everything she says, and you are going to ignore all the red flags. And it's just so important that you listen to your own inner voice, because there was a lot of occasions where I should have stopped and told myself something's wrong here. And I
Yeah.
actually did. There was a couple of times when I thought, okay, this doesn't look right, but I was just so convinced that she was a real person that I chose to ignore the red flags, and that was stupid on my part.
Okay, so I think we can stop now. I'm gonna stop the interview. Thank you.